No matter what you go through, keep dreaming. Keep going.
All right, can I get everybody to stand up? Everybody stand up. Stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up. All right. If you've ever had a dream that you wanted to accomplish, let me hear you make some noise. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. If you ever wanted to be successful in life and you wanted to accomplish something great, let me hear you make some noise. All right, all right. So I was told that this was a pep rally, and so I'm here to motivate and inspire you all, but I really want to figure out who's in the building, all right? If I call you, I want to hear you make some noise. Where are the 8th graders? Oh, okay. Okay. All right. What about the 7th graders? Okay. All right. I'm going to call this group. Where are my teachers? All right. Last but not least, where them 9th graders at? Yeah. All right. Y'all can sit down. As she said, my name is Charleston Girley, and one of the things that she pointed out in my bio is that I'm a 4-time conference champion for Arkansas State football team. Now, I'm very proud about that because one thing that you will learn about me is that I'm a competitor. I love competition, and the reason being is because competition, it brings that dog up out of you. And so as a little icebreaker, I'm gonna get Principal T to help me if he's available, but I got a reward on the line. We're gonna do a little bit of a competition. I need 10 volunteers. We're gonna select them, 5 boys, 5 girls. Listen, you don't know what it is. You don't know what it is, all right. So we're gonna do a competition. They have no clue what the competition is. They have no clue what the reward is, nor what the risk is. All right, so audience, do you feel like anybody that's down here is the strongest person down here? All right. Y'all come in close. This is what we're gonna do. And audience, I need your help. I got $50 on the line. Say. I got $50 on the line. We're gonna have a push-up competition. Whoever can do the most push-ups is gonna get the $50, all right? I got it right here. All right, so listen. All right, audience, we're gonna count them down. We're gonna say 1, 2, 3, and then they're gonna go. All right, y'all ready? Let's go. 1, 2, 3, go. Down. 1, down. 2, down. 3, down. 30, down. 31, down. 32, down. 33. We got a winner. What's your name?
Jeremiah.
Jeremiah? Hey, shout out to Jeremiah. Hey, y'all give him a round of applause. All right, so I said that the title of my speech is Try. Tomorrow is your opportunity. Tomorrow is your attempt to try. Now, I want to tell you all a little bit of a story, a little bit about myself. I was born in 1993. I'm an early 90s baby. I'm not that old. I'm still young. But I was born in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, and at the age of 2 years old, my life changed. You see, I didn't come into this world by myself. I came into this world with my best friend, my partner in crime. I came into this world with my twin brother. But at the age of 2 years old, my life changed in a different type of way. My brother contracted a disease called meningitis. And at that point, he was rushed to the hospital. He died on the way to the hospital. And by a miracle, he was brought back to life. But at that point, At about the age of 6 or 7 years old, I told myself that I wanted to try at life. I wanted to be successful at life, not necessarily for myself, but for my brother. I wanted to be successful so that I could provide a life not only for myself, but for my. So I had to make an attempt and a willingness to try. Did I know what the reward was going to be for the rest of my life? No. Did I know what the risk was going to be for the rest of my life? No, but I had a willingness to try and I had a willingness to dream. You see on the back of my shirt, it says, keep dreaming. At 7 years old, I had a dream. Despite my circumstances, despite the environment that I grew up in, I had a dream. Now, on tomorrow, you have a test. And you're going to have 3 questions. And I'm going to talk to you about 2 of those questions. The first question is that you're going to have is the question that you know the answer to. But sometimes, even when you know the answer to the question, you may not always answer it right. In 2011, my life was presented with a question. Life presented me with a test. As I grew, my dream developed into being a Division I football player. I said if I could play on the highest level, I could give myself an opportunity to be successful for the dream that I had when I was 7 to be able to provide for my brother. So the dream developed. And so going into my junior year, I was the number 3 in the state as a defensive back. And so schools are starting to look at me. Scholarships are on the horizon. And so the potential for my dream is starting to happen. And then in 2011, the 3rd game of the season, life presented me with the test. You see, the test that you're taking on tomorrow is not the only test that you will ever take in life. Life presented me with the test. Life presented me with the question, and I knew the answer, but I didn't necessarily answer it correctly. It was this guy that I had beef with. We've been having beef ever since junior high, and I had smoke for him when it was on site. And so it was the 3rd game of the season. I made a tackle. I'm going back to the huddle, and the guy pushes me in the back. Now, in this moment, I knew the answer to the question. I knew the answer to the test, and it was to go back to my huddle. But do you think that I did that? In that moment, I retaliated. I got into an altercation. I created a brawl. And not only did I get suspended for that game, but I got suspended for the next 3 games. And so in that moment, life presented me a test and I failed. Now, can I keep it real with you all? I spoke to Principal T and I asked him for some statistics on the exam that you took last year. You scored a 25% in English, you scored a 25% in math, and you scored a 33% in science. And they gave you the score a little bit earlier. You scored a D. So just like I failed a test in my life, you all failed last year. But when you try, the score that you get does not define the rest of your path. It does not define where you go in your future. Tomorrow's an opportunity for you to change your future. Tomorrow's an opportunity for you to do something different. Just like in my life, I didn't allow that opportunity to mess up the dream that I had, the goal that I had. I attempted to try again. I attempted to continue to chase after the dreams and the goals that I had. And so tomorrow is a great opportunity for you to do the same. So I said that there were 3 questions that I wanted to cover. And so the first was the questions that you know the answer to. Then there are questions that you may know the answer to or may not. But then that 3rd question, the one where you don't know the answer to. And oftentimes we tell ourselves, oh, I'll just mark something. Oh, I'll just put something down. I want to tell you one last story. A person told me a story about this young man that happened to him in 2018. He had just finished his college career. He was in the best shape of his life. And one day he was on campus in 2018 and he felt a sudden thump within his chest and he had trouble breathing. And so he goes the rest of the day trying to figure out what's going on. He's struggling to breathe. He doesn't know what's happening. He tries to sleep it off that night. And when he goes to bed that night, he's not able to sleep. He's only awake for maybe about 15, 30 minutes because he was struggling to sleep. And so he made a decision to go to the clinic the next day. He goes into the clinic, tells them what's happening. They take him into the back and they do an x-ray. And within 10 minutes, the ambulance is blaring to the clinic and they come in and they say, your right lung has collapsed. And so in that moment, he has no idea how this happened or why this happened. And so they rush him in the ambulance. They take him to the emergency room. He's calling his family. He's calling his friends. Everybody is panicking. And then he gets into the emergency room, and the supposed smartest person in the room, the doctor, walks in. And the doctor walks in, and he begins to ask the young man a question. He says, "Does lung disease run in your family?" The young man says, "No, sir." He says, "Are you obese?" The young man says, "No, sir, I'm in the best shape of my life." He asks the young man, "Do you smoke?" He says, "No, sir, I don't." And so in this moment, there's a question that's being asked. Neither does the person know, nor does the doctor know. And so this young man's life is in jeopardy based on a question that nobody in the room knows. And so in that moment, the doctor has to make the best decision. He didn't necessarily know what the right decision was, but he had to make the best decision. On tomorrow, you're going to face a question that you may not know the answer to. I'm not asking you to select the right decision, but I'm asking you to make the best decision. Because in this moment, this young man's life was in jeopardy. And so that happened in 2018. And so what they ended up identifying that as was a spontaneous pneumothorax. This was a freak lung accident. And so what they did, they went in, they inflated the lung, they plastered it to his rib cage, and they said this is 1 in a million chance that this will ever happen again. And so that was in 2018. 2024, August 2024, the young man wakes up 2 o'clock in the morning. He's having these same symptoms that he had in 2018, and he immediately recognizes what's possibly happening. And so he drives himself to the emergency room, 3 o'clock in the morning. He gets to the emergency room, they do an x-ray, and then they come back and they tell him your right lung has collapsed again. The same doctor comes right back into the room, begins to ask the questions again. The young man does not know the answer to the question. The doctor does not know how in a million chance this happened yet again. And so in that moment, the doctor had to make the best decision. But not only did the doctor have to make the best decision, the young man was faced with questions. Would this continue to happen in my life? Was my life in jeopardy? And in that moment, the young man had to make the best decision, because that young man is still here and that young man is me. After having 2 right lung collapses with no answer, I had to make the best decision to continue to live my life. Tomorrow's an opportunity for you to chase something great. Even if you don't know the answer fully, it's an opportunity for you to make the best decision. Tomorrow, we think that oftentimes it's these standardized tests and they don't mean nothing. But they mean everything, because it teaches you how to live your life. It teaches you how to go through the tests in life. What if life presents you with a question that you don't know the answer to? How to pay your bills, how to put food on the table. You can't just chunk up any type of answer and just say, I don't know. But in those moments, you got to find a way to make the best decision. And so tomorrow, not only do I want you to answer the questions that you do know, but for the ones that you don't, I want you to think about your life. I want you to put yourself in a situation asking yourself, what would I do if I didn't know the answer? If my mom didn't know the answer for my life, what would she do? If my dad didn't know the answer to that question, what would he do? And oftentimes, it's to be able to make the best decision. Now, as I get ready to kind of wrap up, the biggest thing that I talk to everybody about, I travel all around the country. And I talk to people about chasing their dreams. Tomorrow's an opportunity for you to chase your dreams. We don't get to dictate how we come into this world. We don't get to choose our parents. We don't get to choose our environment. We don't get to choose our background. But when you come into this world, you get to choose whether or not you want to make a decision to go forward. Tomorrow's an opportunity for you to make that decision to go forward. And not only is it an opportunity for you to make a decision to go forward, but as y'all know, I said I'm a competitor. It's an opportunity for y'all to kick Annie Camp's ass. Can I get some more noise? Can I get some more noise? Are y'all gonna do it or not? Are y'all gonna do it or not? All right. So listen up. We got one more part, and we're all gonna try this. We're on video, y'all on my video, so I need y'all to do it right. I'm gonna jump in the crowd. I need everybody to stand up. Principal T, he gonna drop the song. Lean, lean. We're leaning, 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 leaning. Hey, swag when I serve. Hey. Hey, thank y'all. That's my time.
As bad as you breathe. My journey and your journey.
Hey, y'all kill it tomorrow.
I wear the CJ on my chest as a reminder that I can do all things through Christ Jesus.
You gotta be able to dream again. After you accomplish that one dream, you owe it to yourself, you owe it to God, you owe it to your family to be able to do it again, to dream again. But when you dream again,